達の前でかっこつけるのなんかやめちまえよ。夏木すば。
So originally I wanted to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen and how awful it is, but I changed my mind because I don't want this to become the shonen channel, where I just trash talk shonen all day, because that's way too easy. So instead I thought I'd give my thoughts on Rezero Season 2. Season 2 of Rezero is a season everybody loves. Even people who didn't like Season 1 that much love Season 2. And I'm with them. I absolutely love hating on Season 2, it's terrible. As somebody who enjoyed the first season, I was so disappointed with the first and second part of Season 2. I sat through the second part like, this is terrible, but maybe it'll get better.
It never happened.
And that doesn't mean Season 1 is perfect either. There are some pretty bad stuff in Season 1, but Season 1 is way more enjoyable than Season 2 in almost every single way. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that, but there are 3 important words that we're going to talk about over the course of this video that explain why, in a nutshell, I believe this season is terrible. And that's pacing, build-up, and dialogue. You see, many things that should feel powerful in Season 2 feel weak as hell because of the lack of these 3 things. And as somebody who liked the first season, it hurts to notice the lack of these 3 things from the first episode. And you can easily notice it in the scene where Rem gets her existence or whatever wiped away. She says the most obvious and cringy dialogue of all time. Man, I sure hope something bad doesn't— oh no, oh baby. I didn't see that coming. Get a load of this writing, am I right? Not to mention it has one of the worst directed anime scenes I've ever seen. No, I'm actually serious. It looks like it belongs in the next Spy Kids in 3D. So after that, Subaru finds out and decides to kill himself to take himself back to the past. Except it doesn't work, so after some boohoo time, he decides to try and save her on his own. So the first episode is pretty but I think Subaru trying to get Rem back on his own would be pretty interesting, right?
Wrong!
You see, instead they make their way to the sanctuary, and this is where the biggest problem of Season 2 comes into play. The pacing. The fact that the story is all over the place without any focus. And the Sanctuary arc highlights this the best. Whereas it's about Ram, then it's about the people in the Sanctuary, then it's about the mansion, then it's about Beatrice, then it's about Amelia, then it's about friendship, then it's about Roswaal, then it's about the witches, then it's about saving the witches, then it's about believing in yourself, then it's about— it's just a ton of stuff that doesn't make sense. With the proper build-up, a lot of this stuff could have been impactful, except for the cringy dialogue that doesn't make it impactful all that much. But all of these themes and ideas packed into one little arc makes it feel like such a disgusting mess. And not to mention again that the dialogue in these scenes is terrible. You thought the My Hero thing from Rem was bad? Oh my god. The scene where Subaru and Amelia kiss is terrible. I literally had to cut off my computer because of how awful it was. All it was just 10 minutes of, "Hey Amelia, I know you've known this probably for quite some time, but you know, I really like you." Nuh-uh, nobody can like me. Yeah, people can like you. Nuh-uh. Yeah, Nuh-uh. And I know what they were trying to go for there. They were trying to make this episode like episode 18 of Season 1, but this episode fails to keep up in almost every way, and I want to go over why. Before episode 18 in Season 1, Subaru was constantly trying to save his relationship with Amelia and save everybody else at the same time. Each time he tries, he fails again and again, barely even able to save himself but still trying to save everybody else. And because he can't save himself, he decides to ask others for help. But he's constantly used and abused in the process. And after all this and dying constantly over and over again, he decides to do the one thing anybody would do: give up. And it's in episode 18 where we see Subaru tearing himself apart, and Rem being there to piece him back together again. And this is what I mean by build-up. Episodes upon episodes of Subaru getting stepped on, and then him finally giving up feels impactful. And now compare that to the scene with Amelia, and oh wait, you can't because it's worse in every single way. Amelia and Subaru don't even really have that many interactions in Season 2, because their relationship isn't that important in Season 2. So when the confession happens, it feels random and rushed, and it just happens. And I feel like that's the best way to describe this season. Rezero starting life in another "oh that just happened" Season 2. And there are other scenes in Season 2 that are just as rushed and terrible, like the parent stuff and the friendship stuff and all that other stuff, but I feel like I've made my point so far. Almost every scene and every arc is rushed. You can go back and look at it and say, There was no hints to this at all, and it just happened. And this is why I can't hop on the "oh man, this scene is so emotional" bandwagon, because most of the time when I was watching season 2, all I felt was frustration. And I wish I could die so I can start life in another world where this season doesn't exist. Anyways, that's it. I'm done.